So the first week, we were learning the white side and the first layer of the Rubik's Cube. Nish was able to teach us how the algorithm worked to create a cross or a plus with a yellow square in the middle and the white squares on the outside. I found this step to be relatively easy. I didn't really have an issue solving it. I did have to speed it up though. It did take me a while at first, obviously, to understand how to complete this first part of the algorithm to complete the Rubik's Cube, but all in all, I do believe it was probably the easiest part to understand. And as you can see, we're able to complete the first layer as we complete the white side. Next, we had the second layer of the Rubik's Cube, which is done right after you do the first layer in the white side. This I did have a lot more trouble understanding the algorithm to complete the second layer. I messed up quite a few times and it did take me a lot longer, which is why these videos are probably a lot more sped up than the previous videos. Once I got the hang of it though, I was able to get comfortable moving the cube with my fingers and not having to rotate the entire cube or anything like that while trying to complete this second week of practicing and doing the Rubik's Cube. So definitely a lot harder than the first step, but relatively easy in comparison to its counterparts. With week 3, this was completing the yellow side, which is on the top, after completing the second, first, and white side of the Rubik's Cube. This was definitely the most challenging part of the Rubik's Cube, understanding which algorithms to use, because it didn't always work out the way I wanted it to, in a sense where you always wanted a yellow cross at the top, but sometimes you have to create that cross or plus sign at the top of the yellow, which I wasn't able to do. So this step definitely required a lot of problem solving and a lot of time. It required a lot of time. Nish did a really good job explaining it, but this was definitely something I kind of had to look up also to understand and look at pictures of how to rotate the cube and stuff like that, just because it was a lot harder for me to understand. There were also other algorithms to use that Nish did explain, but also I still had to look up. Yeah, as you can see, the video is sped up a lot. It took me minutes, on probably average 4 to 5 minutes to complete each the yellow layer and then completing the cube. So that did take me relatively a lot longer. I'm not sure what part of the algorithm really messed me up. I think it was more of how to rotate the cube, which direction to rotate the cube, and so on and so forth. That is something I really did find I had a lot of trouble with. Last but not least, we do have week 4, which was just full of practicing from the beginning of the cube to the end of the cube. So this, we started off from scratch with nothing done on the cube. And we did step by step what we had learned thus far on how to do the white and first layer, the second layer, the yellow, and then the top layer that follows the yellow. This is definitely where a lot of the problem solving also came in, where I did have to use some other algorithms in order to complete the cube. It also did take me a lot of time. My first couple of videos of completing the cube probably were about 4 minutes, averaging about 4 minutes, and then I would say the last few videos are averaging about 3 to 4 minutes. So I was on closer to 3 minutes and around 15 seconds. And then the final attempt at solving the cube, it took me about 2 minutes. It was definitely a lot harder. I had to restart a few times. due to like lack of knowledge on how to fix the issues that I might have caused with wrong rotations and stuff like that. So it did take relatively a longer time, obviously, to complete the cube. After practicing, I did find myself a lot more comfortable rotating the cube in certain directions, and not, like I said before, using my entire hand. I would just use my fingers or my pinky, or utilize other fingers in order to rotate the cube. All in all, I do think Nish's videos and expertise did help a lot. Being and having access to him and asking questions was able to allow us to complete the cube fairly well.